What's up, fam? Ken Moser here, aka K Dog. Welcome back. On my channel, here we dive into the raw, unfiltered truths of today's world. No sugarcoating, no bullshit. Just real conversations that challenge the status quo. So, buckle up, homeboy. It's gonna be a long ride. Today's topic: racist texts that's been filtering through the country. I want you to take a look at something right quick.
We begin the top of the hour with a Fox 5 News alert. Residents across the DMV say that someone is sending them hateful text messages.
Those messages contain racist language, and now the FBI is involved. So, what's going on? Let's get to Melanie Alwick in Southwest with the latest. Mel?
Hey, good morning. So these texts started coming in Wednesday night, the day after the election. One directs recipients to come to an address here in L'Enfant Plaza. Of course, there's nobody came here, but they're certainly very disturbing because it is telling people to pack up their belongings and that they're going to be rounded up for certain purposes. Look at the text here. The text goes on to say that people will be picked up in a turquoise van to be house slaves at Abingdon Plantation. One of them is signed Sincerely Trump Administration. A second version circulating says the recipient has been selected to pick cotton and to be on the lookout for a brown van that will take them to Plantation Group A. The Attorneys General's offices for D.C., Maryland, and Virginia are investigating. In a statement, Maryland's Civil Rights Division says that the text messages appear to be part of a nationwide campaign targeting black people in the wake of the election. Among the recipients were school-aged and college students, causing significant distress. Some texts address the recipient by name. They've been reported in New Jersey, Alabama, Michigan, Georgia, New York, and South Carolina as well. We also know that the D.C. Police Department's Office of Homeland Security Intelligence has been looking into this as well. They're advising everybody that if you get them, forward them to the Federal Trade Commission, report them as spam to your cell phone provider so the source can be investigated. Do not respond to them, and after you're done forwarding, you delete them. Now, you can text them to the Federal Trade Commission at 7726. If you live in Maryland, you can also file a complaint with the Civil Rights Division. We have information for that on our website and on our mobile app as well. We can also tell you that the Southern Poverty Law Center has been receiving a lot of complaints about this. They are investigating as well.
I hope you're as mad as I am, because I've been preaching this for 8 years, ever since that knucklehead got in the office the first time. My analogies for this knucklehead and them people that follow him are, if you're a parent and you walk around the house constantly cursing, your kids are going to do the same thing, because they're going to think, hey, if mommy and daddy do it, it must be okay. That's exactly what these buttheads that follow this knucklehead do. Hey, I know it's wrong to say it, but damn, our president is saying it. He's saying these racist things, so it must be okay for us to say it now. I said this before. One of the main reasons why that bullshit on January 6th, which was everybody keep trying to sweep that under the rug, that was treason. One of the main reasons they want his knucklehead ass back into office is because all them closet racists got to come out of the closet. And once he got out of office, they didn't want to go back in the closet. And what happens? Day after he gets elected, now we get this bullshit here. What people don't want to accept is this country, our country, is the biggest bully on the planet. Let me give you that one more again. The biggest bully on the planet. They want to be the hand of justice, the umbrella of righteousness for every other country but ours. They want to tell everybody else what's right and what's wrong, what's just and what's not. But they don't want no other country to tell us the same shit. There's 3 signs, and I've said this in plenty of videos. The 3 signs of a bully are: 1, they're bigger than you. 2, they outnumber you. And 3, they got more weapons than you. The minute you take any of that away, they quiet as church mouses. Quiet as church mouses. I did a video about an army guy picking on this little black guy. Him and his wife. But the minute the community surrounded their house and demanded them to come out and talk that bullshit, you know what happened? They had to get a police escort to take their ass to work. Fear is the greatest weapon there is. If you get people scared enough, they will do what you want them to do. If you put the fear in them, they will follow you. Bullies feed off of fear. That's their first weapon. That's their most non-confrontational weapon. If I scare you enough, you won't do anything to me. If I scare you enough, I can say and do what I want. When the fear does not work, then they go to more extreme measures. Because most people that delve in that field, they're scared themselves. That's why they rely on the fear. And they ain't gonna do it to your face. They're gonna do it behind closed doors so they cannot be identified. Why? Because there's some people out here that don't get scared. See, with these closet knuckleheads on this phone, putting out these racist texts, they don't understand that it's 2024. It ain't 1824. Don't let your president get your ass whooped. Stay in your lane. Because like I said, this is 2024. This ain't 1824. You will get your ass twisted. Let me hip you to something that you may have not really thought of or thought of seriously. Let me hip you to something that you may have not really taken a real good look at. Trump and his people, his little minions that are out there, they want division. See, when the people are divided, they're easily swayed. They're easily controlled and they're easily picked off. And when I say picked off, I'm talking about not the leaders, but the followers, the sheep that are out there. That goes for everything. Look at nature. Why do you think birds flock together? Especially smaller birds. Because they're harder to pick off the weak. Antelope, wildebeest, all them. There's strength in numbers. You can hide in numbers. It's protection. In our case, when the people are divided, you can influence them easier. Look at manipulators. When they want to manipulate a person, they don't let that person talk to anyone. They don't want them people to get in their ear to tell them that this manipulator is a manipulator. When the Donald first got into office, that's when the abortion issue kicked in. I knew right there that it was going to get overturned. Now, all the different reasons for it to be overturned, that's for another video. But one of the main reasons is...
And right now, white people are really frightened. If you don't understand the destruction of Planned Parenthood offices, and you don't understand the wall that we're going to build on the southern border of the United States, you haven't read the book, The Birth Dearth by Ben Wattenberg. Ben Wattenberg was a brilliant Jewish man who was a member of the American Enterprise Institute. And he wrote a book, the first paragraph of which says, the main problem confronting the United States today is there aren't enough white babies being born in this country. He was an advisor to presidents of the United States. He wrote the book in 1987. He says if we don't change this and change it rapidly, white people will lose their numerical majority in this country, and this will no longer be a white man's land. Now, I'm not misrepresenting this. I'm telling you almost exactly what he says. He says there are three things we can do to solve this. Number one, we could pay women to have babies, as they have been doing in Western European nations for years. Then he says, and these are his words, not mine, unfortunately, we would have to pay women of all colors to have babies, so we don't want to do that. He says the second thing we could do is increase the number of legal immigrants that are allowed into this country every year. And once again, he says, unfortunately, the vast majority of those going to come to this country today are people of color, so we don't want to do that. The third thing he says, and women had better pay attention to this, 60% of the fetuses that are aborted every year are white. If we could keep that 60% alive, that would solve our birth dearth. Does that sound like racism to you?
And what does that mean for them? That means loss of control, loss of power. You see, what you got to understand is this. Power is very addictive. Power, once you taste it, you can't get enough of it. You want it. You crave it. Our first taste of power, if you have siblings and you're the oldest and your parents put you in charge while they're gone, that's one of your first tastes of power. Being in charge, making the rules. And it just grows from there. When you lose power and you have abused it, you're at the mercy of the people who you abused. What I can't understand is when you're talking about racism, and by the way, people have got that shit twisted too. Okay? There's a difference between a racist and a person who's prejudiced. And the difference is this. A racist controls the people that they're prejudiced against. If a person does not control you, your actions, your thoughts, your income, your livelihood, they're not racist. They're just prejudiced. See, the good old US of A and the powers that be are racist because they control people and their livelihood. The little individuals, they're just prejudiced. When you deal with prejudiced people, you're dealing with people who are afraid. The thing that they just don't get in their head is all the people of color, I'm talking black, Hispanic, Asian, they can let this shit go. You give us our share, give us an equal opportunity, we can let that past go. It's you guys that don't want to let it go. For some reason, you won't let it go. Like it's gonna, if you hang on to it, it's gonna come back. Like Jane Elliott said, that's the reason for the abortion law being overturned. Numbers. For the life of me, I cannot understand. Well, then again, I can. Okay, I can. And I'll give it to you like this. If you're a supervisor and you're only supervising 1 or 2 people, and for 2 to 3 years you treat them like shit, you got your foot on their neck, you riding them every damn day, then your boss peeps it and realizes it, and all of a sudden makes one of your underlings your supervisor. You think you're gonna be a little worried? Think you're gonna be a little nervous? You ain't gotta think about it, because the answer is yes. You're gonna be nervous because now you know what you have done, and now the tables are turned, and you're afraid that person is going to do the same thing to you. And these prejudiced white folks out here do not understand that only you care about that. You want us to let it go, but you can't let it go. And on top of that, you do not or will not give us the credit that we can let it go, because that's not what's in you. You couldn't let it go, so you assume everybody else ain't gonna let it go. To wrap my video up, this is to all them online tough guys that's sitting in their bedroom in the dark, sending out these bullshit texts. Don't text. Don't text. Come out in the open. Go downtown. All the shit that you put in that text, put it on a big ass sign and stand in the middle of a DuPont Circle. Stand in the middle of Lafayette Square and see what the hell happens to you. Well, that's my video for today. This is Kim Mosley, aka K-Dog, signing out. I'm out. Peace.